So it seems the BBC have finally had enough of Gary Lineker, and they've listened to the vast public backlash against his latest outrageous and ill-thought-out tweet. And there are many of them. They could have done this years ago and dealt with him, but no. They did nothing, and they made him think he was untouchable, and that's why he kept doing it. Now, I believe in freedom of speech. However, his position is within a company that sells itself as being impartial, and you're paying for that as well through a tax system, a forced tax called the TV licence fee. I don't pay that TV licence fee anymore. I stopped years ago because the BBC don't represent me. They're not impartial, they're biased, they're partial, they are partisan. And you would have seen this recently through their coverage of Brexit, the 2016 US presidential election, which Trump won. And it's almost always exclusively left-wing woke nonsense which they're promoting. And you're paying for that. You know, you're paying for them to hate you. You are paying for Gary Lineker to hate you. Over £1 million a year you were paying him to look at you like something he had stepped on, simply because you voted the wrong way or have a different opinion to him. He's as woke as they come and insufferable. So I think it was yesterday, after that tweet he made, which I'll get on to later, that reporter confronted him and he was leaving his expensive house, his mansion. A lackey was holding an umbrella for him and he was led into a huge gas-guzzling estate car. Remember, he's a climate change idiot, so he's a hypocrite, isn't he? He'll drive something that harms the environment while preaching other people not to. So he was asked about his opinions about the whole hoo-ha regarding his tweet, and he said, I don't regret it. I'm going to have a chat with the boss later, and I expect to be presenting Match of the Day this weekend. Alas, he's not, because the BBC have told him that he is to step back from presenting his duties on Match of the Day, and will not present it for the time being until an agreement is reached on social media use. Even Ian Wright, he's walked off Match of the Day as well since hearing about this, and he won't be on Match of the Day until Gary Lineker is restored in solidarity. Well, good luck to you, Ian, and good riddance. So the bosses have told him, listen, you can't be doing this anymore. We know we are biased, but you're like confirming to everyone we are biased. So you need to cool it. No more political tweets and just football crap from now on. Get it? And I don't think he'll be happy with that. You see, he's pig-headed. He'll probably tell them where to go, and then he'll quit the BBC. But you'll still see him on Twitter. But you don't have to see him on Twitter because you're not paying for Twitter, like you have to pay for the BBC through that TV licence fee. So you don't have to see what the hell he's writing, which is fair enough. But the reason I follow him on Twitter is for stuff like this. Now, remember, this tweet is all about illegal migrants and the Tory party's policy of dealing with them, i.e. sending them back and sending them back to Rwanda, which is all just wordplay to please people. They wouldn't do anything about it. If they wanted to stop illegal immigration, they'd do it, but they're not, so they won't. It's just sound bites. Anyway, Gary Lineker tweeted, there is no huge influx, even though hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants have crossed the channel so far this year. That's how out of touch he is. He has absolutely no idea of the figures. He goes on, we take far fewer refugees than other major European countries. Again, this is a lie. This is just an immeasurably cruel policy directed at the most vulnerable people in language that is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 1930s, and I'm out of order. Now, people are defending him, saying he didn't use the word Nazi, but why else would he use the words Germany 1930s? Why would he invoke Nazi-run Germany at that particular time and compare it to the Tory party anti-illegal immigration policy? He meant the Nazis without saying the Nazis, didn't he? And he can't get away with this. All right, he has freedom of speech, but, again, he can't work for a company that sells itself as being impartial and then him being ridiculously partial and offensive to a degree. Now, I want a sane, measured immigration policy, and for that he thinks I'm a Nazi. The Nazis didn't lavish benefit money, social housing, 5-star hotels and other things, free money on anyone who would have invaded Germany at the time in dinghies, illegally crossing the borders. You know for a fact as well as I do, they would have been treated far, far harsher. So this comparison is absolutely ridiculous, and it looks like Gary Lineker is finally paying for it. free speech is free, but inflammatory speech does come with a price, and he's about to pay it, I hope. So there we go. Hopefully we've seen the last of him and his cocky, smug, grinning face on the BBC, if you watch the BBC. And that's that. So until the next time, have a great evening, and Roger Trout.